Hi and welcome to another video of Made by Siem. This is my unique perfect match, and you can make your unique perfect match as well. In the video I'm going to show you and I'm going to explain to you how you can make your own perfect match, your own unique perfect match, because by using another yarn, or by using another color, or by making different row counts as well, you can create your own unique perfect match. Like I said, I'm going to tell you all about it in the video, and I'm so happy because I just finished the video, because this part is always I take this clip always at the end, at the very end. So I'm just about to make pictures of this beautiful, beautiful shawl. I really do hope that you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do so. I'm open to positive feedback as well, so you can leave everything you like to say down below into the comment section of this video. And please take in mind, I'm Dutch. My English is far from perfect, but I'm trying to do my very best to explain to you guys how to make this perfect match. It was upon request. A lot of you asked me if I could please do it in English. Well, I think it's about a year and a half or 2 years later now, and I finally managed to film it. Anyway, please enjoy the video and let me know what you think, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for a lot more. Alright, enjoy! When I did the perfect match in Dutch, I decided to use 2 cakes, and 2 cakes of a brand of a Dutch store. And then I found out that these come in different brands as well. I'm not sponsored in this video by any of the companies that I will name. This was from a Dutch store. This cake is called Eva. But you also have the exact same color scheme, colors in the mandala, the Lion Brand mandala. And I looked it up. I went to my film desk over here, and instantly I forgot the name. So I'm gonna write it across the screen here, so if you want to use the same color, then you can get it in your craft store, or you can order it online, or whatsoever. You don't have to use this yarn. I used it because I also used it in my Dutch video, and I want to show you guys that 2 skeins will be enough for the whole shawl. Now, I have a plus size. Whenever you have a plus size and you want to wrap the shawl around your shoulders and cover your whole back, I would suggest to use 3, or maybe if you have the larger plus size, maybe you find it more comfortable to use 4, so it covers your whole back. It's just up to you. If you wear your shawl in front of you, so just around your neck, 2 will definitely be enough. Like I said, I do have a plus size too, so my shawls will be donated, so I'm just using 2 right here. And for my other one that I made, the original one, my test version, I used two cakes of the Katia paint, I think. So I'm going to use, for this project, I'm going to use 2 of these. Now, some people say that if you have two bowls with matching centers, it's more beautiful. Well, I disagree, because I like to work from the inside out. So what I do, I have a look at the outside of the first cake, and then a look at the inside of the second one. If this one matches this one, I'm good to go. If you want to use one cake starting from the inside and the other from the outside, you're fine too. If you're having matching colors, it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to choose your colors, right? But this is how I do it. They look uneven, but they sure are even. These cakes have 540 meters and 150 grams per cake. And here says it's recommended for hook size 3.5 to 4. Well, I don't want my shawl to be like really stiff. I want it to be have the fluffy feeling, you know. So it turns out to be a really soft shawl. You can use any brand, any kind of yarn that you like. I made one for a friend with a worsted weight yarn. She gave me the yarn, and it was a worsted weight yarn. I wasn't too happy with the outcome. I thought it was too stiff. Although I used a really big hook size, it still didn't feel like I wanted it to. So if you want to change the yarn, you want to use other yarn, I suggest, and you don't have to follow my suggestions, I suggest to have a number 3 of thickness, which is a double knit, I guess. I think it's a double knit, right? Okay, so that's just what I suggest. Do whatever you like to do and whatever you think will work for you. I have a loose tension, and I'm using a 5mm crochet hook. A yarn needle, a pair of scissors, and look at these lovely pair of scissors. They were gifted to me, and I love it. I love them. And if you like, you can also use a stitch marker. There's one other thing that I use in a lot of my videos, which helps to decide if you will make it to make an extra row, which is my scale. I just bought one in a cheap store in the Netherlands, and it works perfect for me. I just weigh my work, then crochet a row, weigh my work again, crochet a row, weigh my work again, and well, you can sort out, because every single row you will use up a little more yarn, but you can decide if you'll be able to make the next row as well, and that's why I use the scale. So if you, for example, have you've used 12 grams of yarn in your last row, and you have 10 grams left, you won't be able to do an extra row. Okay? That's it. That's all the information I'll have to tell you now. Let's get started. I'm starting off with this one, because this color almost matches the color of the inside here. So I'm going to put that one aside, and I'll try to find the, oh, here it is already, the inside of my cake. I would suggest to leave a little bit of a tail end. You can use that to sew in later on, or even if you like to add a button on your shawl. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I might do it, but I'm not sure yet. Let me zoom in a little bit first. So like I said, a little bit of a yarn end, yarn tail, and then you start off with a slip knot on your hook. This is how I do that. Then start off with a chain of 7. So yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I want to close this circle, this chain, so I will end up having a circle, a small circle. So without yarning over, I go to the first chain that I made. I insert my hook there, yarn over, and pull through both loops on your hook. And now you have a circle. And we will be working in this circle. I will lay the yarn end that I have just around the edge of the circle that you made, and I will be working over that tail. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See the yarn tail right there. The chain 4 is exactly the same as a treble crochet. Oh, and in this video I will be using US terms only. I know that the English terms are different, but I'm going to use the US terms. So the chain 4 is exactly the same as a treble crochet. Now yarn over twice, just like that. Insert your hook into the circle, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Counting the chain 4 as well, you will have 2 treble crochet. Yarn over twice and make another treble crochet. Yarn over twice, another treble crochet. Yarn over twice, another treble. Now I have 5 treble crochets and I need 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 treble crochet. Chain 1. And another treble crochet into the same circle. 1, 2, let me get some yarn. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is what your work will look like after your first row. row 2, chain 4, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me explain why you have to chain 5. Well, we have a chain 3 for the first double crochet, and then a chain 2 for a chain 2 space. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Showing your work. Now, we skip this very first stitch here. Just skip that, because we did the chain 3 and the chain 2. We already made the first stitch. Now we go to the next stitch here, the treble crochet of the previous round, and we will be making a front post double crochet around that stitch. Yarn over, go to the right side of the stitch, just like that, underneath the treble crochet and up on the other side of the stitch, just like that. Let me do that again. So insert here, just like that. So basically the stitch is on your hook now. Okay, yarn over and pull that through back, just like that. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Now you have made your very first front post double crochet. Let's do that again. Yarn over. This is the stitch we will be working in, or around, I actually should say. Yeah. So yarn over, insert here, just like that. Yarn over and pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And this is what you do for all of the remaining stitches. So the 3, 4, and 5. Now you have the chain 1 space here. Chain 3. Skip that chain 1 space and go to the next 5 treble crochet of the previous row, and just make front post double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now at the beginning of our row we did a chain 3 and a chain 2 space. This is our very last stitch of the row of the previous round. So a chain 2 for the chain 2 space, and instead of working into the chain 3 here, I'm just going to work into the space here and make a double crochet, just like that. So on this side your work looks like this, but on the other side it looks like that. Okay, next row. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work. The chain 4 is exactly the same as a treble crochet. Into the chain 2 space here, we will make 5 treble crochet stitches into the chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, counting the first chain 4 as a treble crochet, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches in total. Now here you see the 5 stitches of the previous row. We want to work in the middle stitch, and in this case it is the 3rd stitch. 1, 2, 3. Insert your hook into the 3rd stitch and make a single crochet. So into the 3rd, insert your hook, grab your yarn over and pull through 2 stitches. Okay? Skip the next skip the next 2 stitches and go to the chain space here. Yarn over twice and make 6 treble crochet stitches into that chain space. 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. Chain 1 and another 6 treble crochet into the same chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here are the 5 stitches of the previous row. Go to the middle stitch, which is the 3rd stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 3rd one is the middle one. Single crochet in that one. The very last chain space of this row. Yarn over twice and make 6 treble crochet stitches into that chain space. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is what your work should look like. There you go. After the 3rd row. For the 4th row, chain 5. Chain 3 for the double crochet and a chain 2 for the chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work. Yarn over, skip the 1st and make 5 front post double crochet stitches around the 5 next stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And go to the next 6 treble crochet stitches of the previous round and make a front post double crochet stitch on each of the treble crochet stitches of the previous row. Number 3, 4, 5, and number 6. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 6 front post double crochet stitches on each of the next 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 3, and now 5 front post double crochet stitches around the next 5 trebles of the previous row. Not round, it's a row. Number 4 and 5. Now we want to create a chain 2 space, so we can use that for the next row. Chain 2, and just a double crochet into the space here, just like that, which is the very last stitch of this row. On this side your work looks like this, and on the other side your work looks like that. So you can see by making the front post double crochet stitches, you create the ridges over here. You see that? I think that looks stunning. Alright, next row. If you like, you don't want to make the perfect match, so you don't want to have the 2 different kind of stitches in your work, you just continue making this this stitch, and you can make a whole shawl of it if you like. Now I want one more of these pattern rows, and a pattern row in this shawl would be like 2 rows. So I'm going to show you the next 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, a chain 4 for the first treble crochet, turn your work, yarn over twice, and into this chain space here make 5 treble crochet stitches, and counting the chain 4 you will have 6 treble crochet stitches. 3, 5, and my very last. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're looking for the middle stitch, and in this case you see 5 stitches of the previous row. Then go to the middle one, which is the 3rd stitch. Insert your hook, grab your yarn over, and pull through 2. So make a single crochet stitch in the middle stitch. Yarn over twice, go to the next chain space and make 6 treble crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now have a look at the stitches of the previous row. Instead of 5 stitches, you see 6 stitches, and still we go to the middle stitch. But as we cannot divide the 6 stitches and work into the middle stitch, we will be working between the stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 stitches on both sides, so between the 3rd and the 4th stitch you insert your hook just like that. There you go. Grab your yarn over and pull through. Okay, so at the beginning of the row and at the end of every row you will be working in the 3rd stitch, because we only have 5 stitches. And in all the other stitches where you have 6, sorry, 6 is Dutch for 6. When you have 6 stitches, you will be working between the 3rd and the 4th stitch. Okay, yarn over twice. This is the point of your shawl. And if you find it hard to recognize where the point is, then just after you did it, when you crochet it, just add a stitch marker. Just make it yourself as comfortable as possible, or as easy as possible. So yarn over twice, make 6 treble crochet stitches into the chain space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 1 and 6 more treble crochet stitches into the same chain space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 stitches of the previous row. So a single crochet between the 3rd and the 4th stitch, just in between. A chain space. 6 treble crochets into the chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next stitches, we see 5 stitches. So 1, 2, on top of the 3rd stitch, a single crochet stitch. yarn over twice, and in the very last chain space 6 treble crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is what the beginning of your shawl looks like. Next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 3 for the double crochet and the chain 2 for chain 2 space. Turn your work, yarn over, skip the very first stitch here and make 5 front post double crochet stitches around each of the next stitch. So 1 front post double crochet around each makes 5 front post double crochets in total. Just like that. Now chain 3, skip the single crochet and go to the next 6 stitches. Yarn over and make a front post double crochet stitch around each of the next 6 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 3, skip the single crochet and 6 front post double crochet stitch three, 4, 5, 6, chain 3 and 3 front front post, not 3, did I say 3? I meant front post double crochet stitches around each of the next 6 stitches. And number 6, chain 3 and repeat that until you have reached the very last shell here. Chain 3 and front post double crochet stitches around the next 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, and number 5, chain 2 and a double crochet stitch in the chain space here, or in the space here. Turn my work, and your work should look exactly like this. Now you can continue working up these 2 rows as many times as you like, but you will have to be sure that you will have an uneven number. So in this case I have 3 uneven numbers of pattern rows. The first row of the pattern is the row where you crochet the treble crochet stitches. The second row of the pattern row are the is the row with the front post double crochet stitches. Okay, so each pattern row has 2 rows. Now I have 3 pattern rows, which is an uneven number. And I am going to change the pattern now. Okay, I start my next row off with a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A chain 3 for a double crochet and a chain 2 for a chain 2 space. Now turn your work. You see the chain space here. We make 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Try to find the middle stitch. You see 5 stitches, so the third stitch is the middle stitch. Make 3 double crochet stitches into the third stitch of the previous row. Chain 1. Next is the chain space. 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space. 2, 3. Chain 1. 6 stitches go to the middle stitch, which means you will be crocheting 3 double crochet stitches between the third and the fourth stitch. 1, 2, 3. After the third, just in between the stitches, 3 double crochet stitches. 2, 3. Chain 1. 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space. Chain 1. 6 stitches, so between the third and the fourth stitch, 3 double crochet stitches. Chain 1. Next will be the point. Whenever you did more rows, more pattern rows than 3, but you did an uneven number of pattern rows, because if you didn't, you won't be able to make your own perfect match, your own unique perfect match. Just so to be able to work up this pattern fine, it should have been an uneven number. Okay? Whenever you did more rows, you will have more blocks with 3 double crochet stitches. I think, of course, but I just wanted to explain it. Okay? So this for me is the point. 3 double crochet stitches into the point. Now, to create the point, you should be making another 3 double crochet stitches in there with a chain space in between. But what if you wouldn't do that or didn't do that? Well, I'm going to show you what happens. This is not how it is supposed to be. This is just to let you know or let you see what happens if you forget to make the point. Chain 1, skip this, go to the middle of the stitches here and make 3 double crochet stitches. Okay, chain 1, pulling up a loop. Okay, this is what happens. See? You don't have a point, because when you press your work here, it bends. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so this is incorrect. Just pulling the stitches. So after you did the after you did the 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2 and 3 double crochet stitches into the same chain space, 2, 3, and chain 1. Now, to be sure that you don't miss the point, it could be handy to use a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker available, you can also use a piece of scrap yarn, a paper clip, anything to mark the stitch. Anything that you can come up with. Okay, chain 1, find the middle stitch. We have 6 stitches here, so between the 3rd and the 4th stitch, 3 double crochet stitches. 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space, chain 1, excuse me, 3 double crochet stitches, 6 double crochet stitches, so between the 3rd and the 4th stitch, 3 double crochet stitches. And number 3, chain 1, chain space, 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space, chain 1, 5 double crochet stitches. On top of the 3rd double crochet stitch, 3 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. That's kind of a big loop. There you go, 3. Chain 1. Now go to the very last chain space of the previous row and make 3 double crochet stitches in there, a chain 2, and another double crochet stitch. So it looks exactly the same as on the other side. See? Next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, a double crochet, and another 2, which makes 5 for the chain 2 space. Turn your work, 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space, 2, 3, chain 1, skip the double crochet stitches and make 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space, 2, 3, chain 1, skip the stitches and work 3 double crochet stitches into the chain space, chain 1, skip, 3 double crochet stitches, chain 1, skip, 3 double crochet stitches into the chain 1 space, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches, chain 1. And this is where the point is. I'm getting the stitch marker out. There you go. And in the point we crochet 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and 3 double crochet stitches, 2, 3. If you like, you can put your stitch marker back into the point, chain 1, and continue working 3 double crochet stitches into every chain 1 space of the rest of this row. And please do not forget to make the chain 1 space in between the 3 double crochet stitches. As soon as you've reached the end of this row, I'll be back to show you how to continue working on this shawl. Chain 1 in the very last chain space of this row, 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet stitch. There you go. Okay, so now we have 3 of the shell pattern rows. We also have 2 of the granny stripe rows. You can, if you like, you can continue working up more granny stripe rows if you like, but be sure that you crochet an even number of granny stripe rows. Okay, so for the shell patterns, one pattern is 2 rows. You should have an uneven number, and for the granny stripe rows you should have an even number. Okay, so if you like, you can continue working up more rows. I'm going back to the shell pattern now. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The chain 4 is for the first treble crochet stitch. Turn your work. Use that chain space here for 5 more treble crochet stitches. And counting the first chain 4, you will end up having 6 treble crochet stitches. 4, 5, 6. Now skip these stitches of the previous row, go to the chain space and single crochet in it. Yarn over twice, go to the next chain space and make 6 treble crochet stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip the stitches and go to the chain space and make a single crochet stitch. Yarn over twice, go to the next. 6 treble crochet stitches. That went wrong. 6 treble crochet stitches. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip, single crochet, 6 treble crochet stitches, into the next chain space. There you go. 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet into the next. Now, if you followed up my my instructions to do the uneven number of pattern rows for the shells and an even number for the granny stripe rows, then the next space should be the point, and in the point you will be making 6 treble crochet stitches. If you don't end up having the space where you can do the treble crochet stitches, you did something incorrect. Okay, so you did something wrong there. And I'm afraid you will have to frock your work, and I'm sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 1 and 6 more treble crochet stitches into the same chain space. 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip, single crochet. 6 treble crochets, single crochet, treble crochets, single crochet, treble crochet, single crochet. And when you end up being here, I'll be right back to show you what to do next. Single crochet in the next, and 6 treble crochet stitches into the very last chain space of this row. 3, 4, 5, 6, and look, my color starts to change. Started to change here. See? I looked it up for you guys, and for the mandala cakes, the name of the color that I'm using is Genie. This is 100% acrylic. I'm not quite sure if the mandala has 100% acrylic. I thought I saw somewhere that it is 80% acrylic and a 20% wool, but I'm not quite sure, because the Katia has the wool in it, and I'm not sure about the mandala cakes. Just wanted to say that. Anyway, next row, chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? There we have the green, and I like it. skip the first and go to the next and make 5 front post double crochet stitches. 3, 4, and number 5, chain 3, skip the single crochet and go to the next and make a front post a double crochet stitch around each treble crochet stitch. 4, 5, and 6, and chain 3, and repeat this until you are here at the point. The point, 6 front post double crochet stitches, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 3, and 6 treble, and 6 front post double crochet stitches. Yeah, there, I said it right. Finally. 6, chain 3, and 6 front post double crochet stitches. 4, 5, 6, and continue working till you are here. I did 5 front post double crochet stitches, chain 2, and make 1 double crochet just right there. Okay. So, you can make more pattern rows with these shells. But as this is an uneven number, 1 is an uneven number, you can also start doing the granny stripes again, if you like. I'm not going to do that. I want to make 5 of these pattern rows. So I will continue making the shells. But feel free, if you like to work up your shawl in a different way and create your own very unique perfect match. Just like I said, you don't have to use the yarn. You can use any type of yarn. I suggest that to work with a double knit or a smaller, thinner yarn than that. If you want to use a worsted weight yarn, it's completely up to you, but be sure that you use a really big hook size so it has the it won't be too stiff, right? Just wanted to say that again. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the very first treble. 5 more treble crochets into the chain space. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. Find the middle stitch, which is the 3rd stitch, single crochet in there, and 6 treble crochet stitches into the next chain space. this is basically it. Continue working this row, and when you are at the point of this shawl, be sure that you make a point. 6 treble crochet stitches, chain 1, and 6 treble crochet stitches into the same space here. Then continue working up the row just like you did before, and whenever you reach this part of your shawl, I'll be back and I'm going to show you how to make the next row. 5 and number 6. Okay, next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 3 for the double crochet, chain 2 for the chain 2 space. Yarn over, skip the first and go to the second, and make a front post double crochet around each of the next 5 stitches of the previous row. 5, chain 3, and front post double crochet stitches around every stitch of the next shell. 3, 4, 5, and 6, chain 3, and this is what you do. Continue working till you are at the point. Front post double crochet stitches, don't forget the chain 3 and the front post double crochet stitches, and here you will make the 5 front post double crochet stitches, the chain 2 and the double crochet. I will be crocheting a total of 5 of these pattern rows. So basically there are 10 rows, but 5 pattern rows with these shells. Right? As soon as I've done the 5 pattern rows, I'll be showing you how to start the I'll be back to show you how to start the granny stripe rows again. Feel free to make as many rows as you like, but be sure that it is an uneven number of pattern rows. Alright? Well, see you in a bit. 4, 5, chain 2, and a double crochet. And this is what my work looks like after I did 5 times the shell pattern rows. See? Because 5 is an uneven number. Remember? Right. The granny stripe rows. You start off with a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Turn your work and 3 double crochets into the first chain space. 2, 3. Chain 1, skip 2 stitches because we want to work in the middle stitch which is the third stitch. 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1. Go to the chain space and make 3 double crochets into the chain space. 2, 3, chain 1. We have 6 stitches here, and that means we will make 3 double crochet stitches between the third and the fourth stitch. 1, okay, I can do that better. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, go to the chain space, 3 double crochets, and so on and so on. Remember? Okay. When you reach the point, you will have to crochet 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets into the same chain space here. And then please continue. When you reach the other end, it's 3 double crochets in here, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet stitch. And that's it. Please keep on repeating how many rows you want. Remember the rules that I told you, and you should be fine. You should be able to make your own unique perfect match. I'm gonna write down for you somewhere over here. I'm gonna write down how many rows I did for the granny stripes and how many rows, pattern rows as you say, pattern rows I did for the shells. And that's what I did, but like I said, if you follow the rules, you can make your very own unique perfect match. Alright? As soon as I'm ready to do the border, the edging on this shawl, I'll be back and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay, so in the meantime, please in the meantime, enjoy. Okay, I'm at that point in my shawl that I only have 38 grams of yarn left. I halfway my last row and I've used up I think about 9, was it 9? Let me think, no, 11 grams of yarn for my last row, and I need, for my edging, I need 3 times the amount of yarn that I've used in my last row. Now, for my Dutch video, I ended up on this side of the shawl. So my very last row was on this side of the shawl. For this video and for my for the yarn that I used in this video, exactly the same yarn, but for some reason my tension must have been different because I was able to do another row. So make sure that whenever you finish your shawl, and when you start doing your border, you start doing it on the side where you can see the ridges of the big shells. Alright? Whenever you're not able to finish your row and start on this side, so when you turn your work, this side is facing you. After you turn your work, then just cut your yarn and attach it again to the other side. I know that's not the most beautiful way to do it, but that it will be the way that you use up most of your yarn. And it would be a shame if you're not able to use most of your yarn, right? I'm going to show you how many rows of the shell pattern I did and how many rows of the granny stripes. But make your own perfect match. It's okay too. If you want to make that, it's okay too. Just use your scale and weigh the amount of yarn that you have left. Again, and I've said it before in my video, you have to make sure that cat's hair. I'm sorry. You will have to make sure that the shell patterns are in an uneven number of pattern rows, and the granny stripes should be in a even number. Okay, and that's basically what you have to think of. In the beginning I did 3 pattern rows of the shells. Then I did 2 rows of the granny stripes. Then I did 5 rows, pattern rows. So basically there are 10 rows. I did 5 pattern rows of the shells. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of the granny stripes. And yeah, if you look really close to your work, like that, it looks like this is a granny stripe row as well. But in fact, it isn't. Because when you turn your work, I'm gonna keep my finger here. When you turn your work, you see that this belongs to the shell pattern. You see that? These are the front post double crochet stitches of the shell pattern. There. Turn it back like that. See? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have 3 more shell patterns. I'm frocking my work on this side. I just felt it. Okay. Anyway, I got 3 shell pattern rows. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 granny stripe rows. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shell pattern rows, and I have 2 granny stripe rows. See, because this here it's exactly the same. These 2 rows belong to the shell pattern row. See, so only this row and this row are for the granny stripes. So for me, I end my work. I will end my work on the wrong side, and when I turn my work, I'm on the right side. I just frocked these stitches, so just doing them again. 3, 1. Oh, I need 2, 1, 2, and then a double crochet. Let me zoom in. Okay, here's my scale. I'm going to show you. I'm just taking the how do you call this? I have no clue how you call this. Anyway, doesn't really matter, right? You take it off and you weigh how much yarn you have left. I have 37 grams left, which is fine, as I used 11 in my last row, and I need 3 times the amount of yarn that I used in my last row. My shawl at this very moment is just a little over 2 meters. And funny fact as well, in my Dutch version, I made with exactly the same yarn, but a different color, exactly the same crochet hook, and still that is 15 centimeters smaller. So it definitely must have been my intention. Anyway, so be sure that you are facing the right side of your work, which is the side where you can see the ridges of the shell pattern here. Then start off with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and make 3 more double crochet stitches into the chain space here. 1, 2, 3, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now turn your work. So just turn it like that. And go to the chain 3 space. Go to the chain 3 of the beginning of this row. Insert your hook in the 3rd chain. Yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. Now chain 1 and turn your work. Now you have a sort of a hole here. We will be working in this space. Make 7 double crochet stitches into this space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yarn over, go to the next 3 double crochet stitches of the previous row and make a double crochet on each of the 3 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Next is the chain 1 space, and you make a double crochet stitch into the chain 1 space as well. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work, and instead of working into the very first double crochet stitch here, we go into the space here. Just insert your hook here, go underneath this space and come up in the space here. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. Chain 1 and turn your work back. You want me to do that again? Okay. Okay, so after you did the 4 double crochet stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, turn your work. Don't insert your hook here, but in this space here, underneath the stitches here, and come up in this space. Yarn over and pull through all these stitches on your hook. Then turn your work back. So now you should be facing this side of your shawl again. Chain 1 and make in this space here, you will be crocheting 7 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to the next 3 double crochet stitches of the previous row and make a double crochet stitch in each of the 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and a double crochet stitch into the chain 1 space, chain 4, turn your work, insert your hook in this chain space, so you see the 4 double crochet stitches. Right after that you insert your hook, you go underneath this, and you come up in this space of the previous shell that you did. Yarn over and pull through the stitches on your hook, chain 1, turn your work back like that. You have created another space here, and you make 7 double crochet stitches into that space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is what it looks like. Yeah? Okay. Next, go to the next 3 double crochet stitches of the previous row and make 1 double crochet stitch on each of the 3 double crochet stitches. 2, 3, 1 double crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 4, turn your work, go to the space here just right after the 4 double crochet stitches, insert your hook and come up in the chain space here, yarn over and pull through the stitch on your hook, chain 1, turn your work back so the right side of the shawl is facing you again, and into that chain space 7 double crochet stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so on. And this is what you do until you reach the point of the shawl. As soon as I've reached the point, I'll be back to show you what to do next. Okay, I have reached the point of my shawl, which is here. And here's my scale, because I want to know for sure that I'm able to make it. I had, I think, 38 grams left. And now I have 20 grams left, which means I used 18 grams for this side. I should be able to make it till the other side of the shawl, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm really glad that I'm able to do so. So whenever you started off with, for example, like me, 38 grams, and you have reached the point and you have less than half of what you had at the beginning left, you won't be able to make it. Unfortunately, you will have to frock your border or your edging, or maybe you have another ball of yarn. But if this is the very last bit of what you have, you will have to frock it, and you might even have to frock the very last granny square row that you did as well, just to be sure that you have enough for the border. But okay, I made it halfway. Now this is where my point is, and I will be crocheting 1 double crochet stitch on each of the next 3 double crochet stitches of the previous row, 3, and 1 into the point, chain 4, turn my work, go underneath the stitches here, grab your yarn, pull it through the stitch on your hook, chain 1, turn back, and make your 7 double crochet stitches into the chain space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, because this is the point, and I don't want the point to look crooked, so I will be making 4 double crochet stitches into the point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 4. Turn my work. In there, underneath there, and up there. Yarn over and pull through. Chain 1, turn back, and 7 double crochet stitches in your chain space. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then next you see the 3 double crochet stitches of the previous row, just right there on the other side of the point. Now you will be working in those stitches. 1, 2, 3, and your 4th stitch, just like we did before, in the chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn, insert, underneath there, up there, yarn over, pull through, chain 1, and turn back, and 7 double crochet stitches into the chain space. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and continue working on this side of the shawl. As soon as you've reached the other side, over here, I'll be back to show you what to do next. This is all the yarn that I have left, and I'm definitely gonna make it. 1, 2, 3, and 1 into the chain space here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn my work, slip stitch, chain 1, turn my work back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now in this chain space, 3 more double crochets, 2, 3, and on top of the chain here, on the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, on the 3rd one, a double crochet. There you go. So I have 4 double crochet stitches, chain 4, turn, go to the space here, just like we did before, and slip stitch to create the chain space, then chain 1, turn your work back, and 7 double crochet stitches into the chain space. 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. And that's it. Now I forgot to get myself a pair of scissors, so reach in here, cut off my yarn, make a chain 1 and pull. All I need to do now is sew in my yarn ends, and I might add a button, but when I want to add a button, I like my button somewhere in here. So this is the point. I like it somewhere in here. I'm not sure though, or here. Yeah, I might do it over here. I have some yarn left, so I need to attach the yarn and make it sort of invisible, because the color is it's bright against the darker color here. So I might add it there. Anyway, this is my shawl, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Okay, I made a few more for my Dutch video and my test version, and well, but still it has been a while ever since I made one, and I love it. I just love my own pattern. It sounds so stupid. Anyway, I'm gonna sew in all the ends, and then I will be right back to say goodbye to you guys. All right? Give me a second, please. Yay! I got rid of all my yarn tails, and yeah, I'm actually in love with this, with the colors of this shawl and the pattern, how it looks together. I think it's amazing. It's so beautiful. Look, and when you look closer to the border, to the edging, oh, I think it's stunning. Anyway, I hope you really did like this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because this year, 2019, this is when I filmed this video, in 2019 there will be a whole lot more videos in English. I have decided to make or translate most of my Dutch videos into English, and I hope well, I really do hope that you guys like them. So please support me and start following me on my other socials like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I have a Facebook page, and I have a Facebook group, and my Facebook group is called Made by Siem Headquarters. Please join us there. Most of the people that post online there are Dutch, but Facebook does the translation for you, and I will try to post a lot more English messages and comments and stuff like that when I'm there. So please help me to support my group as well as also my YouTube channel. So please subscribe, and till next time, please enjoy whatever you're doing. Bye.